Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, as we have got a good few days of drier weather coming up. The temperatures though are not going to be anything particularly great. We're looking perhaps maxes of 20-21 degrees and widely more in the mid to high teens, so not horrible but nothing particularly great for this time of year. But still, with the sun coming out, it will feel fairly decent. However, as we head towards the end of the week, we could start to see more of a southerly push. Again, nothing exceptional coming in, but a bit of a warmer and more humid air mass. We actually see an area of low pressure develop, a bit of a cut-off low, i.e. it's not moving with the general flow, it's kind of more stationary. And from the latest UKV and some of the other runs, we're seeing some big showers and even some severe thunderstorms starting to appear. Even the UKV today has some really quite high Cape levels, especially for the sort of pattern that is appearing. So it could be really quite lively on Friday, the 1st of September. So yeah, we could be starting autumn with a bang. As we head beyond that, and have a look at the latest GFS, GM, Eastern WF and the ensembles, as we get into the weekend, that warmer air mass will remain, still probably giving the risk of showers and maybe some storms, but also bringing the risk of some warmer temperatures where we do see drier conditions. And that is likely to continue through the first week of September. So definitely looking above average upper air temperatures, but as I stated in yesterday's video, that we did talk about a big thundery risk at the start of September. It's because most of the models are going for a warmer air mass, but most of them are also going for quite moderate amounts of precipitation with generally lower pressure moving in and around. So yes, could be warmer through the first part of September, could still see temperatures into the low or even mid-20s and drier periods, but we're likely to still see quite a bit of rain and could even be heavy and thundery and enhanced with those warmer air masses. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So if you have a look at the latest from the UKV, you can see through this afternoon it's actually a pretty dry day. A few showers here or there in the north and some patchy cloud, but nothing particularly exceptional at all. Generally pretty decent conditions. That will continue into Tuesday as well. Could be some transient rain overnight, and there could be some more showers in the north on Tuesday, and perhaps in Scotland and across parts of the Midlands and Wales could see a few showers, maybe thundery in a few spots, but once again most areas seeing a pretty pleasant day. As we head into Wednesday, pretty similar conditions. Again, a few patchy showers and some thicker cloud pushing in from the west, but generally another decent day with quite a lot of sunshine, especially in the east and actually in the north as well. But as we head into Thursday, here comes a bit of a change. You see through Thursday afternoon, seeing some heavy, maybe some thundery pulses within this, with rainfall moving in from the southwest as the low pressure starts to develop. The last day of August, the last day of meteorological summer, doesn't look particularly summery with lots of rain. Could still be decent in the far north and the east, with the south and the west for a change seeing the worst conditions. Again, this could change by the time we get to Thursday. Uncertainty exactly with that. As we head into Friday, you can see more of those heavy showers and even some quite big thunderstorms start appearing, spiralling in from the southwest and really peaking through Friday morning into the afternoon with some really intense showers and storms moving up from the southwest, giving a really lively Thursday night into Friday morning and lingering into Friday afternoon as well. Really quite a lot of heavy rain and the risk of some significant thunderstorms, because if you have a look at the mixed level Cape, you can see quite high Cape levels appearing in the southwest as this area of low pressure and rainfall moves in. You can also see the upper air temperatures are picking up. Again, nothing exceptional towards the Thursday, Friday. Upper air temperatures around the 10 to 12 degree mark, so nothing crazy, but generally warmer and more humid, allowing that thunderstorm risk to increase. And you can see that from the dew points as well, 16, 17 degree dew points, so quite humid air, and that gives rise to those heavier showers. Now the temperatures will be responding to that, but probably not on Thursday and Friday because of the enhanced rainfall risk. If we have a look at Monday afternoon, again you can see 20, 21 degrees, so decent this afternoon, but nothing crazy. As we head into tomorrow, looking at Tuesday afternoon, again, temperatures maybe 21, maybe locally 22, but again, maybe a little bit more widespread shower risk there. Into Wednesday, even drier day, but you can see actually turning a little bit cooler in the north and the west with that thicker cloud moving in. The far east could still just about nudge 20 or 21. And into Thursday, we're starting to see the humid air mass in, so around the rain could be 20 plus degrees. But under that rain, it's going to feel pretty abysmal. 13, 14, 15 degrees at best. Over higher ground, maybe only 11 or 12. And finally, as we progress into Friday, once again, could see widely 20 to 22 degrees, avoiding the showers and storms, but under those showers and storms, likely to be maybe 14, 15 degrees at best, feeling very muggy. Now, if we do look at the long range, we're able to see that this sort of pattern of some quite warm but unsettled thundery weather is likely to continue. As we do head through this week, you can see low pressure arriving by Thursday, and that gives the risk of storm activity. See southerly flow or a slight southerly flow with air drifting up from the Mediterranean. Nothing insanely hot, but warm enough to spark off those storms as we see this little low pressure system try to move in from the west. Now, I must emphasise here that the GFS is nowhere near as active in terms of thunderstorm risk and in terms of Cape as the UKV was. I would probably go more inclined with the UKV because it is higher resolution. Maybe GFS isn't quite picking up on the exact air mass and complexity of the low. But we do have to take that into account, that it might not play out exactly like that. Might just be some lighter showers and less in terms of thunderstorms. But as we progress beyond that into the weekend, you can see more high pressure build in. So by Saturday, Sunday, it might not be too bad for a short period of time. Before more little cut-off lows move in by Monday, Tuesday, and then we could see some fairly unsettled weather beyond that into the first full week of September, with lows coming in off the Atlantic. Right at the end, high pressure builds in, but we are looking at almost 2 weeks away here. So don't put too much hope in that. If we do move back to the end of this week where we do have that interest, you can see the 15-degree isotherm just about moves in for Saturday. So we could see fairly warm conditions come this weekend. But of course, there's that big thunderstorm risk, and I don't think those showers will be going anywhere into the weekend. Now you can see to Saturday, look at that, 24, 25 degrees by midday on Saturday. So yeah, the weekend could be really quite warm. But of course, the risk of showers and storms. Now, after you compare to the GM, once again, we're seeing a low pressure system moving in towards the middle of this week, but high pressure ridging in for the next few days. As we head towards the weekend, once again, we see low coming in off the Atlantic with a bit of a southerly flow temporarily, high pressure ridging in just about for the weekend, but more of a flat westerly here from the GM, and it goes very unsettled into next week with lows spiralling out in the Atlantic. If we go back, you can see that we do pull in briefly a warmer air mass for Friday, but it's nowhere near as warm as the GFS or even the UKV was showing. So once again, this would probably have lesser in terms of thunderstorm activity and in terms of intensity of the rainfall, but we'll also see lower temperatures. So again, it is these sort of trade-offs with this sort of pattern, and of course it goes much more westerly and unsettled in the longer term. But you see right towards day 10, it brings up a really hot plume, but again it's associated with low pressure. So this could be another very thundery pattern here into the upcoming, the first full week of September in just over 7 days' time. If you look at the ECMWF now, you can once again see a bit of a ridge of high pressure through the early part of this week, but then the low arrives by Thursday into Friday, slipping southwards again, probably giving the risk of some more storms, but it still is that 5-day time frame, a little bit more uncertainty. But interestingly, as we head into next week, the storm track with all those lows is further northwards. Instead, for the first full week of September, we're pretty warm and we're pretty dry as well, with a big area of high pressure trying to waft up some hot air from the south. Now, one thing you can really notice as we do head into early September, all that hot air to our south is starting to run out. With this sort of pattern, if this was a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, you'd expect a large swathe of 20-degree isotherm, but much lesser in terms of 20-degree isotherm here, again indicating we are heading into autumn. But nevertheless, this would be really quite warm and be really quite pleasant. Again, we look at the 2 meter temperatures associated with this, and we would be seeing temperatures in the low to mid 20s. Again, there could be some rainfall around initially, But if you look at the temperature deviation, you can see we're a good 6 to 8 degrees above average for the time of year. And we would see lesser in terms of storm activity in the long term with a big area of high pressure building in. But I must emphasise this probably is, or it is on the minority of the ensembles, as most are lower in pressure with more of a westerly influence. Now we can see that by having a look at the latest ensembles. Start on the GFS. Again, slightly below average over the next couple of days, but it's dry, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Still temperatures just about getting to the 20s. Towards the weekend, last day of August into early September, we're above average and actually stays all the way to around the 10th or 12th. Less certainty with it as we do progress, and that is inevitable as we do see uncertainty in the longer range. But at least the first few days of September, we look a good 5 degrees above average potentially at times. But you see at the bottom of the screen the caveat: quite a few precipitation spikes indicating that thundery and unsettled weather arriving by the end of this working week into the weekend. The 2 meter temperatures will rise, though. You can see more in kind of low 20s, maybe even get up towards 24, 25 degrees by the weekend. There is a real possibility of that. But you can see it's longer range. The pressure isn't ridiculously high. The ECMWF was up to around 1,025, 1,030. That's where the GFS has got to on this run. But most around the 1,015 millibar range. So more sort of in between pressure, which would favour, which in between high pressure, low pressure, which would favour more in terms of showers. You can also see quite a distinct rise in dew points by the end of this working week, going up from around 6 or 7 on Thursday morning up towards 14, 15 by Friday afternoon. Again, it will be indicative of that air mass change and that thunderstorm risk. Now, finally, if we look at the ECMWF, again, you can see slightly below average over the next couple of days. Big rainfall spikes as we see the temperatures rise to a few degrees above average and stay above average to around the 5th or 6th. So yes, ECMWF and the GFS both on the sort of pattern of quite unsettled, quite stormy, quite thundery by the end of this upcoming working week, especially Friday from the looks of that latest UKV. But on the other hand, temperatures also rising, so we should see some perhaps decent weather when it is drier at times on the weekend. So this upcoming week isn't looking too bad, but if you are looking for some drier weather, then Thursday and Friday, especially Thursday evening into Friday morning, isn't looking particularly great. It is turning warmer by the end of the week, but it's going to be muggy and it is going to be thundery in places. Now, unfortunately, over the next few days, we've got some pre-recorded videos, as I'm unable to record until, I think, Saturday now. So tomorrow we'll be having a look at the latest on a hurricane that is going to be impacting parts of Florida. I've forgotten the name of the system, but it begins with I, and that is moving in. And then throughout the rest of the week, we're going to be having a look at some August heatwave events, as we've been completely absent from heatwaves so far this August. So we'll have a look at what happened in 2020 and also in 2003, where we did see the official temperature record of the whole of the UK, and of course it is still the August temperature record, which we haven't eclipsed yet, funnily enough, and it's been 20 years. And in the final video for this week, something that a lot of people will probably have a bit of interest in is the first winter look ahead. Now, normally I do release those in about a month's time, end of September, early October. We're releasing it now as we do have a few long-term climate drivers that we've got good indications of what they'll be doing. We'll have a look at the ENSO region as we are going into an El Nino phase, which does favour the risk of some colder weather potentially into winter for parts of northern Europe. We have to see what is going on with the polar vortex, what the early season predictions are for that. So do make sure you check out that winter look ahead. I think it is coming out on Thursday, I think. So do check that out, as that will be a very interesting video to view and follow over the coming weeks and months, as I hope to get an update out at least early on this autumn, maybe every couple of weeks, and then as we head into sort of the middle of the autumn, end of autumn towards November, then we'll probably be getting out that most weeks as we get a lot more data coming in. So as I said, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you again for another video soon.